The following podcast contains language and themes that some people may find offensive. It also contains men that can't handle hot baths. Enjoy!
Hello and welcome to That Was the Week That Was it? The podcast that wears its arse on its sleeve. Joining me for this episode is Hayley Pettitt. Hello, Hayley.
Hello, Alex. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well today, thank you. Very well.
You seem very positive for a change. What's going on?
I know. I'm normally so grumpy. I've had a really good day. I went, we were talking to Georgie last week.
We were,
and I was
yes.
like, wow, that gym thing that I joined up to and I never went to.
Oh,
I
yeah.
went to that today.
Oh.
I went to the gym. Did it.
That makes
Feel really good.
That makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then I went and painted a wall. I mean, the
Wow.
two obviously go very, very much hand in hand.
Wow.
But it's been a productive day.
I am
shall say,
impressed.
so.
I'm impressed.
Thanks. Me too.
Well, that's good. Well, we're going to just go straight for this and just introduce our guest. Get rid of the excitement. You just did a little cough, but I can probably edit that out.
I thought, to be fair, I thought I muted it, but obviously my equipment's rubbish.
No, your cough was that powerful, Darren.
Jeez.
Our guest for this episode is a voice artist and impressionist. It is the one and only Darren Altman.
Hello. Thank you so much for asking me. It's great.
Hey, do you know what? It's a pleasure. You've been on my list for a while, and I thought I draw up a list of guests that I want to ask, and I stall sometimes in asking people because it's like I can't at the moment. I've got, and I just thought now's the time. Let's grab it. Now's the time. Let's.
Well, listen, thank you.
How
So
are
I'm
you?
good, thank you. I'm good. I've done my exercise today. I had a long run, had a soak in the bath, so I'm all nice and fresh for you guys. I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is an
Very
air
fresh.
of something.
There is an air of arrogance and conceit about me. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, people will have heard your voice regardless, without even knowing it. I'm pretty sure of that, because you are pretty prolific, aren't you? You're all over the place, aren't
I
you?
do a lot of voiceovers. I'm talking to you from my studio where I work. So day to day, I do a lot of radio ads for all the networks, global, Bauer, all the stations, local stuff. What else do I do? In-store ads. So when you're walking around the Co-op or Asda or Wilco, you might hear me saying, and today in Asda, you can buy 5 plums for 50p. Asda price and all that nonsense. And then your normal sort of corporates and web videos. And there's never a dull moment. I've got to be honest with you. And I mean, we can get into this later, but I get asked to do a whole load of silly yesterday, I got a call and they said, can you be like a sort of geezer rabbit?
Oh.
Geezer rabbit.
Like a sort of Cockney geezer, but a rabbit. So I said, well, yes, okay. So on the sort of geezometer, how much do you want it? I mean, do you sort of want me to go sort of full, are you having an half, mate, ain't you? And he said, well, maybe not that much. So I said, okay, well, if it's a rabbit, then maybe he needs some sort of talking. So we end up talking like this. Hello, I'm a rabbit. And that's how it sounded.
I mean, it's a question of how much on the geezometer do you want it to be, and how much of the rabbitometer do you want it to be as well? I guess that's the kind of it's finding that balance, isn't it?
It's trying to get a balance between the geezometer and the rabbitometer. You're absolutely right. You'll be pleased to know, Alex, I gave good rabbit, so gave good bunny.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Now,
just in time for Easter.
exactly. That probably is what it's for, isn't it? It's got to be for Easter, sure.
I suspect so.
Now, people will probably know you best, though, for your appearance on Britain's Got Talent, which, semi-finals, wasn't it?
It was.
Pretty good.
I enjoyed the experience. I know people that did it and didn't, and they're quite public in the fact that they sort of said, oh, we didn't really enjoy that. But I enjoyed my time. I knew I wasn't going to win it because my aim was to get to the final. So as much as people sort of say, oh, what a feat to get to the live semi-finals, in my head, I bombed out in the live semi-final. I'm just, it's just the way I am. I mean, I thought if I could get to the final, that would sort of leverage, profile or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, it was great, and it was something that I never thought I'd do. I never dreamt of doing it. I didn't plan on doing it, to be honest, but it was a great experience.
I mean, the pressure, I imagine, of doing it, the semi-final live must I can't imagine it. To be
Well,
honest with you. There must be-
the thing
No.
is, and I don't want to give the game away, but you can either audition or they've got researchers and producers sort of scouring the web for talent. As it,
Yeah.
I'm doing the air quotes, folks, for talent. And so they approached me in 2015 and said, or 2014, and said, "Do you want to do it?" Because they saw a video that I put out on the web of like sort of how to do celebrity impressions, and because my career was in voiceover, I said no, thank you. I just thought it was a bit too much jeopardy, so I said no, thank you. And then they came back the year after and said, "Oh, we saw your video. We'd love to do it." So I thought, "Oh, sod it, go and do it."
Oh, awesome.
And that was that. You know, they got great comments of my audition, and then went to the semi-final, and yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, I mean, that explains the whole, when you see someone on there that you think, I know that person, I've seen that person before.
Well,
The most glaring one was Francine Lewis,
Yeah.
I think. It was like, I mean, God, everyone knows Francine Lewis, surely.
well, the thing, I mean, yeah, Francine, she posted, funnily enough, on Instagram or Facebook today, she posted like her early appearance on a talent show that Jonathan Ross hosted. I've forgotten the name of it. Years ago.
Big talent show.
That's
wasn't
it. Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like
yeah,
Yeah.
So she's been doing it for years, and you know, I mean, at the end of the day, Alex, they're making a television show, so you know, and
Yeah.
I know for a fact that there's comedians and magicians and performers that have been doing it for like 10, 15 years, and they go on there and they say, "Oh, I'm a builder," or "I'm in the army," or "I'm a physical trainer," or you know,
Yeah.
but you know, it is what it is. Personally, I didn't have any experience. I had to go and do a few performances in clubs, and I absolutely shat myself. It was horrific.
I would.
But it's one of those things that you just sometimes in life, I don't want to sort of get philosophical, but one thing that's taught me is you just got to do these things and just
go for it.
You just got to go for it. You're absolutely right, Hayley. And just if an opportunity comes, just think, sod it. What's the worst that can happen? And believe me, I can tell you a few stories of dying on my, I won't swear, dying on my arse.
Oh, please do. No, please do, Darren. It is a completely...
It's no rush.
This, yeah, we need to earn that explicit tag that I always put on every single episode.
I mean,
But I mean, the most glaring one I saw recently was America's Got Talent when they had Michael Winslow.
did
appear.
they? You're joking?
Yeah, as a contestant.
Oh,
No, I know.
come on.
And he was like, people probably know me from the Police Academy. People know you from the Police Academy movies, Michael. There's no probably about this. You are.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
My God. Hello. Yeah, hello. It's David Beckham. You might know me from, I'm going to do some keepy uppies for you. But
Yeah. No, you've got raw talent. I can see you go really
that's
far.
it. That's it.
Yeah. But yes, anyway, we're here to talk about your week, Darren. It's all about Darren. So, how was Monday for you?
Do you know what? You've picked a good week. Normally, I mean, as much as voiceovers like to post about how busy they are, in essence, we're not that busy. We're not sort of working. I'm not. Oh my hand. And we're not sort of like going into our studios at 9 and leaving at 7 o'clock thinking, oh wow, back-to-back sessions. It just doesn't work like that. But this week's
unless you're Lewis McLeod.
unless
I'd like
you're
to add that.
yes, Greg's, McDonald's, Just Eat, cat, dog, moose.
I sent him a message. I was like, I not a day goes by where I don't hear you somewhere.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
I know.
It's the truth.
Yeah. No, he's amazing. What a voice. And a lovely guy. Love Lewis.
Oh, beautiful man. Love him. But yeah, so you weren't as busy as... Oh, you were busy.
Yeah,
actually,
this week's good.
Sorry,
So Monday, I did a few bits and pieces, voiceover sessions. I think some odds and sods. I think maybe a couple of in-stores, a couple of ads. And then in the evening, I did a showcase for my comedy agent. So I've got an agent for my voiceovers and an agent for my stand-up and presenting. It was an industry showcase. So there were a lot of bookers for TV there and events companies, corporate companies. And it was all of my agent's stable, if you like. Doing the air quotes for you there, folks. His stable. And I had to do sort of 7-8 minutes of material. And the interesting thing is that I haven't gigged stand-up since October, and I've been working with a new writer, so I had a few new bits. I thought it was a bit ballsy to try and get them out for the first time at this event, but I thought, sod it, just do it. And I did some new Boris gags, and it went down a treat, and it was really enjoyable, and it was lovely watching the other comedians and their writing. I'm fascinated by really good writing and good delivery. So that was a good night. It was a good night.
Oh, fantastic!
Cool.
That's good. I mean, it's got to be. It is always that nerve-wracking thing about when you have a new joke, and you've got to wet its head at some point. You have to release it and let it go at some point. So, yeah, fair play to you for just going through it with that.
It was good.
Not saving it.
I mean, my act previously sort of relied on the voices, and there wasn't a lot. It all needed what they say in the business as punching up. Like more jokes. It just needs to be more jokes in there. And so this writer that I'm working with, we're sort of getting more material in there, more da-da-da, da-da-da, bang, da-da-da, da-da-da, bang. So rather than just relying on my citizens without a shadow, which is fine, but people want to laugh. They can't get, that sounds like Boris Johnson, well done. They want to. There's got to be laughs in there. Yeah. So
they need the jokes, definitely. Yeah, I get it. But that's great. And do you enjoy these corporate things?
I do. I've got to be honest with you, Alex. I do get incredibly nervous. I don't mind presenting and hosting, and I don't mind reading autocue. And I do lots of voice of God. Ladies and gentlemen. The award for the best wall built in Mitcham goes to.
I did that once. Voice of God. Actually, you called me to give me some tips. I remember that because I was doing it the night before.
Did you enjoy
the
it?
Night before I did. The one part I was a little bit. There was two parts I was a little bit concerned about. One, it was for the National Pie Awards, which I thought, yes.
Happy days.
But it wasn't that. It's Pioneers in Education, not Meatville, which I was quite disappointed about.
It's very
But the
disappointing.
the second one as well. I didn't have any headphones or anything. I was right at the back of the hall on the balcony, and all I could hear was my voice billowing back at me through the speakers in a resonated echo thing. So I was literally just reading and not just concentrating on getting the words out as opposed to what they sounded like. And I was like, no one can. It's just that was daunting, and I didn't know what the proper. I guess headphones would have been a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. You have to deal with a lot of difficult situations. But I mean, names is it can be quite tricky. I did for a few years in the row the Heathrow Retailers Awards, and it was all the retailers in Heathrow Airport. And I got to be honest, the list of nominees was like the fucking UN. I mean, Russian, Polish, Kenyan, Latvian. Yeah. It was unbelievable. So an hour before we started rehearsals, I would always sit down with the organizer, go through every single name, and I would rewrite it phonetically. Mabawe Fatakanahata has been, and so I would rewrite it so I could. Zlatiev Lingamonovich was that's tricky.
Wow.
That's tricky.
That's
but
hard.
I mean, at the end of the day, God, you can't be expected to get everything right.
No,
Very
I mean
true.
that's the only way you can do it. I think there was only one name where I could have possibly stumbled, and actually the organizer did get me to one side and said, "There's one name. It's that, and it's pronounced that way." And I was like, "Thank you." And that was it. That's the only preference I got. So, but yeah, it helped. They didn't win, but it's fine.
But that's always good fun.
It is. Hayley does voiceover stuff. Don't you?
What stuff do you do, Hayley?
Pretty much just this, actually.
There you go, and you sound great. So
Yeah, all the intros and voiceovers. That's Hayley. All the sort of adverts and things that you hear on. That was the week that was.
Yeah, I've done a couple of student gigs. A really, really funny one, which was a really long time ago. So I think I can talk about it. But I sent this to you, didn't I, Alex? It was some.
You did, yeah. It was marvelous.
Yeah, there were lots of. It was supposed to be some sort of crime thing, and there were lots of just footsteps, just boom, 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 boom. But they went on for about 35 seconds, and then I'd say one line, and then there'd be about another 35 seconds of footsteps.
Exactly that. Exactly
Tension,
that.
building up the tension.
Yeah.
It was the dialogue was broken up by footsteps. It seemed, didn't it? And it was very difficult to pinpoint exactly where it was set. Really.
Yeah, my mother-in-law said it sounded like some sort of really dodgy Swedish crime drama type thing, but I don't know about that. I don't think
About the accents.
Yeah, it was an American accent, which is fine, but the other voice actors that were chosen to do the other parts were don't mean to be rude, but their American accents weren't very American, so I probably sounded very out of place. It didn't really make much sense.
I've got to say, Hayley, your American accent was really, really good.
Oh, thanks,
really,
Alex.
really good. Because I'm quite jealous. I'm quite jealous as well because my American accent. I thought my American accent was really good.
They call it Gen Am, don't they? General American.
They do.
If you're talking like without saying New York or the South or Chicago, wherever, Gen Am.
Exactly. Yeah. And it came to Cold Case Crime Cuts, the podcast that we did, and I was approached to play Mason Lane, the lead guy in that.
Mason Lane sounds like a detective.
Yeah.
Well, he was. Yeah, he's like an amateur podcast detective. Yeah, it's a very funny, very funny podcast. It basically spoofs crime stories. Each crime story is based on a song. So Hazard is one of them, for example. So,
right.
Richard Marx song.
Yeah.
I do recommend it. Copacabana.
It's very funny.
And I was auditioned for the main guy. I read it about 4 times, and I just said to John, I can't do this at all. It's just I'm a bit northern, so it's like I just can't do this. I cannot get the inflections right. I know a guy who's actually American, who's a voiceover guy. He'd be great.
Well, do you know what? And there's no shame in doing that. Sometimes, like quite recently, I got asked to do a corporate video in an American accent, and I gave it a go, and it sounded sort of all right, but I felt like I was it just didn't sit well. So I said, listen, I'm going to give you the names of a couple of guys that live in America. I've got my friend Doug, who's in Florida. Terry's in Minneapolis. They're quite different. Just give them a bell. Choose which one you like. And I don't think there's any shame in that. And
no, it's knowing your limitations, I guess, and not,
Funnily enough, there was a few of us having a discussion on a WhatsApp group, a load of voiceovers, and one of my friends was moaning, saying, like, if I get asked to do an international accent one more time, I'm going to scream. And like we all said, well, what's that? And another friend said, well, I just sort of make my R's a little bit more American and talk normally, and that sort of normally does the trick. But the idea that there's an international accent...
That's like all accents merged into one.
Well, I mean, I think the Americans would consider the British to be international, But
yeah.
So
it's not even like the transatlantic one, is it?
Yeah. When I went to uni, there were quite a few students from Singapore, and they all had American accents. And I did ask them, I said, why? Sound thick or what? But why do you sound American? They said it's just sort of an international accent because it's on our. It's
and
TV. It's everything
exactly.
we watch. Yeah,
they grow up watching Friends, so that's
it
all seeps in. Yeah,
that'll do it.
Well, so Monday was corporate. Tuesday, what happened on Tuesday?
So Tuesday, again, just sort of a few VO jobs, and then on Tuesday I did an interview for Fix Radio, which is a radio station essentially for sort of manual workers, builders. So it's quite geezery. And funnily enough, this week I saw on Instagram that they've just got their national DAB license. So I'm thrilled for them. That's good. But it's sort of like, awesome. It's sort of Fix Radio. It's all the sort of all the imagings like that, and if you listen to the adverts, it's for fucking power drills, Bosch, Makita, DeWalt. So it's all of that. Yeah. And they were doing, they had a chat on about first impressions, about how important it is to make a good first impression. And they rang me up to talk about impressions and stuff like that. So that was good fun. So I did quite a lot of voices for them.
That's nice.
Yeah, that was good. It was good. It was good fun.
Now, what is your favourite impression to do? It's always I like to ask that question.
There's a few that are just quite satisfying. I mean, Boris is I always find it quite satisfying because it's the way he stops and starts with different speeds with vim and vigor and all the hand gestures, which I love. My friends, my citizens. So I like doing him. I like doing Glenn Oddle, as I say, because them players, they get caught in those 1v1s and those 2v2s and those 1v2s, as I say, and you got to say, and I like doing him. Some just sort of sit nicely. Who else do I like doing? In Leeds, Sisters Ellie.
Nice.
Oh, I love.
In Derby, the Siddiquis. And in Blackpool, Peter and his little sister Sophie.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I love
it's
that
such
show.
a nice voice, isn't it?
It's lovely, yeah. And another one that no, you shut up, right? I don't want to talk about it right now. Now you have one task right now, and that was to host a podcast right now you couldn't do it right now. You ballsed it up. Frankly, okay.
I'm sorry, Lord Sugar.
So it's a
That's normally where you come with. Oh, I don't want to hear anymore.
no, and it's the way he says. Okay, so
Yeah.
some things just tickle me.
Yeah, it's a lovely again. It's finding that the music of the voice, isn't it, and the pacing and the tone and everything, and it all comes together. Is somewhat satisfying about that.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, Fix FM,
Fix Radio. And I had to do, yes, I've written, I'll tell you what happened on Tuesday. A dream came true on Tuesday. I've been a radio geek for years. I used to listen to Capital Radio as a kid and record all the jingles, and I used to go up to the Euston Tower and wait for all the DJs and get the auto. I mean, I was obsessed. And I did hospital radio when I was 18, 19, and then left it. Well, fast forward 30 years, and I did my first show on a radio station local to me called Radio Jackie, which is the sound of southwest London, 107.8. And it's really big around here, like sort of North Surrey, South London, and you can't move for Radio Jackie stickers. Anyway, one pissed conversation in a pub ended up being, I did the Late Show, and I did it, my second one was last night. And I cannot tell you the joy, the absolute...
Buzzing.
It's great, isn't it?
It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
It's great. I mean, I've listened to it, and you're a natural.
Oh, thank you. Again, incredibly nervous, but I mean, yeah, it was a real and thankfully, I've got another show on Saturday, another show on Friday, and so I've got lots of chance to improve and get tighter. Or you could drive a fucking bus through that lake. What are you talking about?
I mean, you don't notice it. You really don't. I mean, unless you've got a trained ear like myself, and I did. But it's
yeah. In fact, Alex, I owe you a shout out. I do apologise. I went into the studio yesterday, and there were traffic jams, and I got diverted, and I was so stressed out when I arrived that I completely forgot to say, and hello to Alex listening in Kent. Hello, mate. Going to give you a daddy.
Now, you did hospital radio at St Helier, was
That's
that
right? Yeah, St Helier.
Yeah, because I did as well, very briefly.
Did
you? Yeah, I did the request show on the evenings. I did it for about 4 or 5 weeks.
Wow.
And then I just realised the commute was too much. I wasn't in Kent then. That would have been far too much now. But yeah, getting there was tricky. But yeah, I did the evening shift. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that.
It's great fun. When I did it, there wasn't a computer around, so we had the carts, we had the reel-to-reel, you had to back time everything, working out.
Yeah,
So the news jingle's 10 seconds, then you've got 30-second ad energy, and then so if I start the last one at 58:12, it should, and you sort of press the last record.
That's amazing.
Cross your fucking fingers.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever happened then was in the lap of the gods.
My finest hour there, though, my finest moment, right, was we were going to the news. It was just finishing off. Obviously the news is it's nationwide, so you have to hit it. You have to hit it regardless on there. And we had 2 minutes, and I was like, right, so wind it up. Here's song 2 by Blur. and because I know that's a go-to. It's like 2 minutes, 2 minutes 1, I think it is. And it got to the end, we go, oh yeah, this is the news started. And I was like, come on, please tell me someone in intensive care was listening to that, please.
Yeah, who wants to touch me? You can't.
Yes.
You've broken your arm. Fantastic.
Well,
It's little things like
little
that.
things.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Exactly. And it is that thrill of, obviously you're feeling it on Tuesday nights, Jackie, is that thrill of, right, this is live, I'm in control of this, I'm just moving it along, we're getting there. And there is just a satisfaction in doing it. And when, in the tiniest thing, it's like when you've got an intro of the song and you're talking and you go, this is Mike and the Mechanics, and they start singing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But I used to be obsessed by that. Like you say, talk right up to the vocals, like jockeying. But it's interesting because when you listen to a lot of radio, especially on Jackie, they're not that obsessed by it. And you don't ever think, oh, come on, you could have given me 6 seconds there. Otherwise, you sort of end up talking for the sake of talking or saying like 107.8 Radio Jackie in the living year.
I mean, I'd only do it for myself.
Yeah.
But still, ever been tempted by radio, Hayley?
Yes, I was actually asked to present on, I think it was called Christmas Radio, which was a little while ago, and then the pandemic hit.
Right.
And then I didn't really do anything after that. Yeah, I could still do it. It's kind of an open invitation, but yeah.
You should. You should
Definitely.
do it. I mean,
Definitely.
I can't imagine Christmas radio's all year round, though, is it?
I think it's just called Christmas Radio, but I think it is probably a hospital radio. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't really look into it that much because then it was like COVID. It was COVID and everyone just, was scared for their lives. So
yeah, no, I'll definitely get on that. It's fun.
You
It's a lot
reminded
of
me
fun.
though. You reminded me to pick up that mantle again. It's all good.
Well, there we go. Well, yeah, congratulations on that new gig.
Thank
Darren.
you very much. It's
that's
great.
great.
And again, I mean, there's a sort of theme running through here, and I just think it's another sort of, when the girl that was before me finished her show and I started at 10, she left and I was in the building on my own, and I was thinking, right,
Oh my
okay, like if I press the wrong button and we go off air, like we are fucked. Like there's no one here now, and the program controller like gave me one show where he was around. He didn't stand over my shoulder, didn't baby me, but he was around just for sort of peace of mind. And then I said, are you going to be there for the second one? He went, no, you'll be fine. I thought, oh. Yeah.
It reminds me of the first. I was trying like doing little bit of producing on talk radio, and there was the first time I did show, and I was supposed to be shadowing another producer until I knew what was going on. And this was like Saturday morning, quite early, get there. And so I walk in, and the first person to greet me was
Right.
And she was like, the producer hasn't shown up, you're in charge of it. And I was like, well, what? So I literally right in the deep end. I had to like, I don't know how I got through it. So it was mostly me trying to find different guests for her that morning so she could talk to someone, in between me trying to call the producer saying, where are you?
Right. Wow. How did you find
asleep.
it? Did you get on all right?
It was seat in my pants, that because it was, I think it was a 3-hour show, and the first hour was literally just me,
Right.
like, trying to work it all out. And then the producer actually came in saying, sorry, I'm late, what have you done so far? And I was like, I don't know what I've done at all. It was literally a sort of a complete baptism of fire, and gave me the very odd kind of nickname of Alex the producer, kind of in a mocking sort of way. And I was like, oh, technically I did do it. There was no point.
You did, and it's on your CV, so it's
yeah. And it's a weird moment. But there is at that point where I sort of realised that maybe the producing game is not really.
Well, never say never,
or
Alex.
something
You know.
Yeah.
Never say never.
I don't know. I tried it again later on the show, and I didn't really like him. So, Tuesday, dream come true. I would say for you, Wednesday. Any more dreams?
Yes, what happened on Wednesday. I had a couple of sessions. I was a commentator for a radio ad. I seem to do quite a lot of commentators where they want you to sort of get more and more excited. Talking about offers. Until the end, you're talking like that, and that's $10.99 this Friday. That's always good fun. And Wednesday, I did some sponsorship bumpers for Nick Jr.
Nice.
Cool.
The kids TV channel. I've forgotten what the sponsor. It was for DC. That was it for DC. So DC Comics sponsors Nick Jr. And you end up talking like this and doing a lovely warm smile.
Makes all the difference. It really does make all the difference, doesn't it? If you can't fake that.
No.
I mean, you can fake it, but you can't. You have to fake that smile.
And you get, obviously, and what I like about the sort of short, sharp is that you can give them lots of options in terms of the inflection. So a producer might say, "Oh, can you go up? Can you go down?" So DC Comics sponsors Nick Jr. DC Comics sponsors Nick Jr. DC Comics sponsors Nick Jr. So that's always fun, and we can have a laugh with that.
That's nice. No, that's nice. It's always nice to give them options, isn't it?
Options, darling. We love options.
Yeah.
And I went for a long run, and I came and was knackered, and I had a hot bath and very nearly passed out, actually. I sort of blacked out for a second, which isn't clever.
Jeez.
Don't have a hot bath after you've done exercise, folks, because it's not clever. The world went squiffy and went a bit woozy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't it? I've had that. I've not been exercising, but it's like when I've got out of the shower and something's not quite right.
Is
it's
it
the
blood
heat.
pressure? Is that it?
It could be, yeah, it could be. It's a weird feeling, though, isn't it? You just have to sit on the side of the bath thinking, "What have I done?"
Just feeling like a bit of a bloody idiot, like a shell of a man,
Yeah, but I mean, after a long run, that's kind of excusable, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, but it's an obsession of mine. I can't do lukewarm. Alex.
Gotta have a hot bath, yeah.
Gotta have a hot bath.
It's got to be. And now, do you fill the bath first and then get in, or do you get in?
Right, so I've got a bit.
Oh, the questions I ask on this podcast.
No. It's interesting because I've got a bit of a ritual. So what I do is I'll run a really hot bath, get in, decide that it's not hot enough, top it up until it's boiling, and then virtually pass out after 40 minutes to the point where I'm just blacked out. My wife actually found me on the floor of the bathroom once and said, "Are you all right?" And I was like, I fainted.
My bath was too hot.
Yeah.
I'm such an idiot.
You got to find that sweet spot, Darren.
I know.
That's the thing. You got to find that sweet spot where you're like, "Oh, too hot now." And
I'll ask you a question then, both of you. So when you have a bath, do you put your laptops in there, or just watch? Do you binge watch stuff for half an hour?
No,
you don't.
No electronics.
Oh,
no.
really?
Yeah,
Do you-
I don't have a
dangerous around
bath
the
very
bath.
often. Yeah.
Do you do candles and oils and mood music?
Yeah, for me, because I'm a mum of 3, so having a bath for me has to be like complete zone out.
Right.
I probably have them about twice a year. I do obviously shower more regularly. But yeah, actual baths, it's a ritual. It's It's very therapeutic. Yeah.
What about you, Alex?
I do play Tchaikovsky on the side though.
Oh, there you go. Lovely.
Oh, that's a good plan. That's a
Yeah.
good plan. That's a
Yeah.
good plan. I
What a
no,
wanker.
I just get in and then realise that I should have done candles and things like that, but I'm already in the bath, so it's a bit pointless. But where we're at now, we've already got a shower, so that decision's made for me, really.
I'll just imagine the viewers sort of just turning off slowly, one by one.
That's why I did mine last.
And I've got another ritual. So I'm watching $1 Million Listing New York, which is
I love that program.
It's brilliant. I love it. Just watching
Guilty pleasure.
the most unbelievable apartments and houses in New York. This is like $5,000 a square foot, and and they're like 7 million, 8 million, 3 million, 10 million. Unbelievable. It's
how
my
the other
guilty.
half live.
I know. It's incredible.
Oh. No, I can't say I've seen that actually.
That's good.
It's great. Yeah.
I'm in the open there. The last sort of thing I watched like that years ago was when the Oh, it was Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Oh, right.
Oh, that
That's
makes
what I
me
used to watch.
cry. I can't watch that
Yeah,
without
me too.
crying.
I
Oh.
loved it though. I loved it. I absolutely
Yeah,
loved it.
same.
And I'm not sure why.
So good.
Is that
Does
what?
it make people
wasn't-
happy?
I guess. But then I mean, it was during that period where I'd watch a lot of things because we had. Well, it was when I was living at my parents, essentially. We had all the Sky channels, so we could watch everything. So I certainly did watch everything. And Discovery channels were very, very interesting, particularly late night Discovery channels. They would have The Operation, which was an in-depth look at an operation from start to finish.
Oh.
And it was incredible.
Wow.
Absolutely incredible.
What sort of stuff?
And so,
Yeah.
well, we're talking laser eye surgery was one of them, I believe.
Yeah.
That sticks in my mind.
don't
You
think
think
I'd wanna
laser
watch
eye
that.
surgery? You think just a laser in the eye, isn't it? No, it's not. My goodness, it's not. The actual procedure itself is horrifying. That's the reason I haven't had it.
Actually,
Did you watch that?
someone sent me, a friend of mine in New Zealand just had his lens, like cataracts, is that what you call them? So he had it replaced
Yeah,
by a
cataracts,
prosthetic.
yeah.
And he very kindly sent me a YouTube video of, not his, but the procedure taking place. And you just saw the little needles going in and scraping off the lens and taking it away and washing it out with
Yeah.
fluid.
Yeah.
Do we have to?
I mean, part of the laser eye surgery is they use this utensil. It looks like a tiny tin
Spork.
opener almost. Yeah, that basically slices around the entire lens, flaps it to one side.
That's it.
That's when they coat it in the anaesthetic. Do the laser, then replace the lens.
You're
Yeah.
awake for that, aren't you?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I don't know how good the vision is at that point, but
I mean, I've got to say, he said he's absolutely 2020 now. Like he said, it's unbelievable, the difference.
yeah, that's the plus side of doing
Yeah.
it, obviously.
you didn't really do it otherwise, would you?
No, it'd be a bit pointless otherwise. But that's the great thing. I mean, I've got friends that had laser eye surgery, and I never asked them how what the procedure entailed, because I knew, and I didn't want to go into,
I saw one of rhinoplasty once, a nose job, and that was
yeah.
honestly, it's horrifying.
Do they
I just
break
think, even
it
if I
and
had,
then reset it, or?
yeah, but it's like proper hammer chisel shit. Like they're writing some sort of message in
Yeah.
stone. It's disgusting.
I mean, I googled recently why were chainsaws invented.
Why?
Because someone said, Google why were chainsaws invented. And let me just bring it up now because it is.
I don't want to know.
No,
I'll
it's
give it-
it's worth just hearing the opening thing on it.
It's a window into your world, Alex.
It's a window into my search history. Why were chainsaws invented? The opening line is not who. I'll put where. I want why. Invented in Scotland. That's interesting.
Not trees.
Two doctors invented the chainsaw in 1780 to make the removal of pelvic bone easier and less time consuming during childbirth.
Oh my god.
Oh, do we have to?
No, we don't. Thursday. What was that like?
God for modern medicine.
Well, a Thursday
Isn't it?
and Friday, I think, were sort of a bit uneventful. I think I was just sort of here in the studio, just getting on with a couple of bits, a few corporates. It's funny because I do some videos and they're explainer videos or company videos, and I read them and they tell me the tone they want and the style, and they send me the script, and I'll excuse me, I'll voice a couple of reads for them, so they've got options, darling, and send it off. And if you were to ask me 5 minutes later, what was that about? I wouldn't have a fucking clue. I remember once I read like 2.5 pages on the B7C365 quart spring valve. And
Wow.
and then you go downstairs and you sort of make yourself a cup of tea or something, and you just think, wow. Like, and listen, as long as you give it the style they want, the tone, and the client's happy and they say thank you very much, or they may give you a couple of tweaks, then
Yeah.
you've done your job. I don't think you have to profess to being an expert. You have to sound like you're an expert, but you don't have to profess to being one.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that completely because I mean, as predominantly a writer now, I write for people to read voiceovers of what I've written because I write courses, video courses, and I'll get the audio back to check it's all okay, and I'm listening to it, I'm like, and there's a complete disconnection to what I've written and what they're saying, and hearing it back, I'm like, what? It's just, it works both ways. It's like they've had to read that out, the poor guys, and I'm listening to it back and I'm thinking, I mean, it's just bollocks, isn't it?
Well, sometimes I've got a friend and he doesn't work for them anymore, but he had a company in New York, finance company, and they used to do like the back end of really, really complex trading algorithms. And he gave me a few videos to voice, and it was so and so puts and this and that, and it was like lingo that I had no clue. And I said, what's a put? And he explained it to me. Anyway, he said, I need you. He said, this is business to business. Sorry, it's business to business. So the people watching this video don't need to be educated. Like, this is their world, so you don't need to explain it. You just need to talk to them because they get it. They know what this is about. And that's a tricky skill. It's a tricky thing to do, to talk about a subject that you know nothing about, with a degree of casuality. Excuse me, that was with a degree of Sorry, can we go again, love?
You got a bit of a pop there.
You popped.
You popped.
With a degree of sort of casuality and very conversational. You're not selling anything. You're not talking down to them. You're just talking like we are now. But you're talking about a subject which you don't have a clue about. But that is a challenge, and sometimes. I've got to say, sometimes the hardest thing is when they say, sorry, it's you'll get something come back, and they'll say, it's just too voiceover, it's just a bit silly. Can you just make it more conversational? And you go, oh, Christ, right, okay, right. So you have to have a whole sort of, not bag of tricks, but, set of skills or tricks or little things that you can do to turn that on and turn the voiceover-ness, as a new word for it, voiceover-y-ness attitude off. And it is difficult.
Yeah, it's a fine art. I mean, there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, I can be a voiceover, doddle, mate." But no, it is a fine art, which I've found out myself. I mean, I've always wanted to be a voiceover. That has been one of my actor voiceover. That's always been my thing. But it is incredibly difficult. Whenever I've tried to do it, whenever my voice is out there on things, but it's not. Doing adverts and things like that. I tried to do a voice reel for myself, and I just ended up like most of it was me headbutting the microphone.
Well, that's why you go to someone and you go to a producer, and they write scripts for you, or they gather scripts, and you work it up, and you get them to produce it. But yeah, it is tricky, and a lot of people are doing it now, especially after lockdown. All the sort of actors and were setting up home studios. It's interesting being on social media, which I am. You see a lot of different setups. There's some people sitting at their end of beds with sort of cheap microphones doing sort of good quality stuff, and people in cupboards and. So
I did Rock'n'Ori for Absolute Radio. I did that under a duvet.
Wow.
And it was one of the most unglamorous things you've ever seen in your life.
But you did it.
I did it, yeah. And it was in a setup very similar to this, but there was multiple heads. And I was just like gazing, and we had like John Coleshaw was there, and Alistair Beckett-King was there, and I'm under a fucking duvet just going,
oh, hello.
Can I go now?
Hello, everybody.
Can I go now?
Wow.
Oh.
John Coleshaw, he's got a great voice, very talented.
Oh, he's incredible. And it was such a thrill because I didn't actually realise he was in it. And I was playing a delivery driver that was delivering 1,000 pigs to Ozzy Osbourne. Now, John Coleshaw was Ozzy Osbourne. I was just like... So,
there's a great...
It's stellar. It's better than Ozzy's.
Yeah, he's great. Really good.
It was, and it was just like, so I've got to do my lines to the Ozzy Osbourne now, and it's just like, oh my god, the
great
pressure on
that.
Did
you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I didn't want it to end, but it did. But yeah, I didn't have many lines, so I was like, okay, Alex, you're done. Bye. You guys have fun without me. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was actually I was game to do a lot more on that, and I actually did the pilot for it, where I played I've forgotten his name, the lead singer of Faith No More.
Oh God. Quick, Google it, edit it out, Google it, chop it out, chop it out. This bit goes in the edit.
It's something very, very.
Well, no, we always leave our Googleizing in, don't we?
We tend to, yeah. There was a point where
every episode.
Yeah, there was a point where we were thinking.
For the viewers
adding,
at home, Alex is now working on his iPad, Googling the lead singer of Faith No More.
Excellent.
It's Mike Patton.
It's Mike Patton.
Who's got an incredible voice as well. My goodness. Talking of good voices, geez. Yeah, well, I played Mike Patton, and basically in the pilot, it was me asking the receptionist at a hotel if the hairdryer was close enough to the bathroom for reasons, if there was electrical. Because the story about him is all Rock'n'Ori was all about rock excess stories, stuff like Status Quo and the Kangaroo and things like that.
Kangaroo?
Yeah, basically they were on a tour bus going around Australia, and they hit a kangaroo.
Wow.
So they thought the best thing to do was to pop a tour jacket on the kangaroo and take a photo with it. Unfortunately, the kangaroo wasn't dead. It was alive, and it hopped off with the jacket. Unfortunately, the tour bus keys were in that jacket.
Oh, no.
That's the story. So, yeah, it's basically that.
Great.
So the Mike Patton story is with the bathroom and the hairdryers, because he'd like to shit in a hairdryer for the next person who was there.
Hey.
Anyway, or so the story goes. It's those old rocks. It's the Mark Bolan stomach pump stories, But yeah, that's a fun podcast. If you want to listen to that, that's still available. Absolute Radio's Rock'n'Ori.
Wonderful.
Anyway, moving on to, you say Thursday and Friday were very similar. Is that,
yeah, I think I'm just trying to think. I didn't think I did a lot. Oh, I did a Sean Connery on Friday for a radio station in Spain. It's a new one, and they wanted a program, and I think because
topical.
Yeah, too soon. Because I think he had a big house in Marbella, and he's sort of known in the.
My dad's been there.
Oh, okay, right.
Oh.
So I just had to do the old, if you want to advertise on, this radio station, then, you can. So I had to do all that, which was good fun. I can't remember the script. Contact Chili Radio now. Information at chili.co.uk. So,
I mean, it's one of them impressions where it's like, everyone's got one. It's like a Frank Spencer, isn't it? But it's like, it's the subtle nuances that you do have to.
I would have preferred it if they asked me to do Roger Moore, but don't touch that, darling. We don't want you leaving so soon. What are you doing, Bond? Just keeping the British end up, sir.
Yes. He means his cock.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do.
Attempting re-entry.
Again, I do. I mean, I think they should. Do you think they should go that way with the new Bond when they recast it? They should go back to a sort of. We've done serious. Daniel Craig was serious. We've done that. Maybe we should go back to the more jokey sort of.
What, get someone like Joe Lycett or.
Yeah. Oh God, he'd be a great Bond. Wouldn't he? I would love that.
He's someone that I need to get. He's got an amazing one. There are some people. I found a new guy. I love impressionists, and I found a new guy on TikTok, Chris Geddins. Completely unknown, brilliant. His David Mitchell is unreal.
I think I may have seen it.
It's unreal.
I may have seen that.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. And he does the whole peep show thing, where he sort of. They said I was, whatever he says, did you want peas for lunch? No, I didn't want peas for lunch, and I made sure that she knew it. It was all of this, but it's a lot. It's great, really
amazing.
Good. And he does a good Joe Lycett, really good Joe Lycett, and he does a great Darren Brown. Oh, it's great, and he's even got the little tick, yeah. And we ask you, and before you go, you think of a number and take that number away, and please concentrate. Okay, and he does all of it. It's great. The mannerisms.
I'll check that out.
It's wonderful.
Because I mean, it's when someone does an impression of someone that you're not expecting, when it's just and they get it so right. It's kind of, I'm bringing up Lewis McLeod again, but it's like his Jeremy Vine, which is just it's so on point. It's so good, and I think it's Morgana Robinson when she did Fern Cotton
again,
as well.
Brilliant.
It's that same sort. It's an impression you're not expecting. It comes out of nowhere, and it's so good. You're like, oh, well done, well done. There was a guy I saw who did a James Acaster impression, which was phenomenal.
That's Josh Berry.
That's the guy.
Yeah,
it's and that is just an incredible.
Yeah,
and hats off to him. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's really good. Some you can sort of do as caricatures. I can never say that word. Caricatures and push it out, sort of exaggerate. And some, if you like play it in the pocket, it just sounds ridiculous. You've got to look up this David Mitchell impression on TikTok.
I will.
So talented.
I've got a feeling I have seen him. Hi, Editing Alex here. Yes, I have seen him. He's on Instagram. His name is Chris Grego Voices. Follow him. So Thursday, Friday, uneventful, lots of talking, and a Sean Connery impression, which is
that's pretty decent.
It's fairly decent, It's fairly decent. Can you do a Frank Spencer?
Say goodnight to the man in the moon, Jessica.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I've got to apologise. I've got this. It's not the mic I use for voiceovers. It's a shotgun mic, and I think I've got the level up really high, and it's pointing straight in my gob. So can you put a caveat on this podcast and just say Darren apologises for the microphone being too loud and being straight at his gob?
Darren is a perfectionist when it comes to sound, but for some reason on this podcast he gave up.
Yeah. I saw the name Alex, and I just thought, you know what? I'm going to give it the full. I'm going to give it the full 67% for this one.
Yeah, well, it's probably going to sound shitloads better than some of the ones we've had. I mean, I've had so many varying degrees of microphone from guests.
It's normally just sort of like AirPods or earpods, isn't it? Plugged into the laptops. So
yeah, we're on to the weekend now, Darren.
Aha.
So good.
This is party time.
Juicy.
Do you know
this
what?
This is either normally party time or the guests have forgotten there's a weekend.
Right. So on Friday night, normally I go to the old rubber-dub-dub. But I didn't on Friday night. I think I stayed in with my family and drank Rioja on my own because my wife doesn't drink. So it's sort of just sitting there getting slowly toasted with my two girls. And then Saturday, we went out and we bought ourselves a baby kitten.
Oh, come on.
A kitten.
Straight up kitten?
We bought ourselves a baby cat, otherwise known as a kitten.
Nice.
So she's downstairs, and that's Millie, and she is the cutest little ball of fluff.
Aww.
And I said to Callie, because we lost ours on Boxing Day, which was very sad, Pebbles.
Aww.
And ever since, Callie's been like, can I ever get a cat, Dad? Can I ever get a cat? And I kept on saying, no. And then,
sounds familiar.
And then, like a few weeks ago, I just started Googling just like how much does a kittens cost, and they go anything from like 150 quid right up to $2,000. They're expensive. Oh God, like all the fluffy pedigree ones. They're like, they're knocking on $2,000. It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I paid 25 quid for a man in a pub. Fucker.
I was going to say. I just went round the back of the pub and see what it was about, and then there was a box.
But she's adorable.
Is that your payment from Fixed Radio?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. So we can't pay you, but here's a cat. And a DeWalt drill. But she's
quite
lovely.
happy with that.
So we got a new house member.
Oh,
that's
good
so
stuff.
cute.
Congrats.
That's so cute.
We've called her Sphincter.
Nice.
No, I'm joking. I don't know where that came from. I do apologise.
Is that her middle name?
Yeah.
Millie's Sphincter.
Millie's Sphincter.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing. Having pets for years, that's still the weird thing when you go to a vet's and they use the
surname,
the surname, the animal's full name. Just really throws me sometimes.
Yeah, you're right. Because it was always Pebbles Altman when we went to the vet. Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. Pippa Weber is what we get. I mean, the dog didn't even take my name.
Oh dear.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really, really weird. But, it cements, the fact they are part of the family. And,
Yeah.
True.
I'm sorry this has gone on to animals again, Hayley. Every single episode.
Is this a source? Is this a mute point then? Is this?
Look, just for the record, I don't hate animals. I just don't have any pets at the moment. Apparently, that makes me
know,
a freak.
Right. Oh, the other thing was for Christmas, I bought my oldest a bloody hamster. So we got a hamster downstairs.
Oh, okay. What's the hamster called?
Well, there's a story. Right, okay. It's really sad, actually, because we bought one, Freddie, and I bought it for her. We kept it at a friend's around the corner for a few days leading up to Christmas. Anyway, long story short, we had this, my wife had this big cardboard box, and then Callie, my eldest, would go in it, and we put the hamster in and it could run around. She accidentally trod on it.
Oh.
It was in one part of the box. She got in. It was under her foot. I was out, got home, obviously devastation.
Yeah.
So that night, Emma, my wife, she didn't know what to do. So she rang her mum and she suggested, listen, don't hang about, get her another one now. So so we've got another one, and its name is Casita because they like
La Casita.
they like Encanto, the Disney
Encanto.
film. There you go.
Sí. Muy bien.
And who do we not talk about?
Bruno.
There you go.
Bruno.
So this
I mean, I'll
hamster's-
be honest with you. I haven't seen the film, but I have heard the song.
Nice.
And, they can't talk about Bruno, but they can't stop fucking singing about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's his name again?
Stop talking about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I can't watch it.
Why? It's fantastic.
Well, I've got a problem with Disney at the moment.
What?
And I really have. It's the fact that all these
hates
films that
Disney?
have come out. No, not at all.
Miserable.
All these films that have come
listen,
out.
he's a lovely
all
guy,
these
Alex,
films.
but he's a miserable sod.
Oh, fuck off. No, the thing is, though, all these films are far too similar in their title that have come out in a short space of time. Like Coco, Encanto,
Moana.
Catchy.
fucking
Makes you remember
Moana.
it.
Yeah, no, I remember it for the wrong reasons. I mean, and they all seem too similar.
Bambi.
I am actually
Snow White.
Yeah, Bambi.
Cinderella.
Yeah.
The
All of them.
Lion King. Mary
Beauty and the
fucking
Beast.
Poppins. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know, but you got to admit they are the last few films that have come out are all a little bit similar,
But not in what they're portraying. They're portraying characters on screen. They're representing now, aren't they? So much more.
Yeah,
There's.
but they all end in a vowel. Anyway,
Oh, I can't watch it without crying. Oh, just how?
I haven't seen it, but I feel like I know it. I just haven't sat down. I'll tell you what amazes me is that my girls know every single word of every song, and I just don't get it. Like, they will sing from top to bottom. Just think that's impressive.
What don't you get about that?
It's just incredible. Like, I mean, I just don't know how they do it.
I mean, there's certain songs. It's like osmosis, isn't it? The lyrics just
Osmosis,
sort of
is that the leader of Black Sabbath? No, sorry.
That's the fella. Yeah,
Faith No More.
it just seeps in. And
We have little shows in our kitchen. We do Encanto shows, and
God, must be
the kids
so
all have this
annoying.
like really crap like South American accent, and
must be
but
awful.
I'm the head of the show,
Really
so
offensive.
No, I love it. I love it as much as they do. They're like, "Oh, Mom, I love all your voices," and I'm like, "Oh, thanks, guys. You're so cute. I love you too." And our 2-year-old just sits there and goes, "Bruno, Bruno."
Where are you based, Hayley?
God.
Not that far from Alex, actually. I'm in Rochester in
Okay.
Kent.
Never invite me round for dinner.
Okay, cool. I do cook well,
it
though.
is. It's incredibly well. I haven't actually, you had your own cooking. Do you still do that stuff? The cook happy thing.
Cookie happy.
Do you know what? I'm terrible today. I'm sorry.
Great plug, yeah. Cook Eat Happy, cookery lessons in Rochester. Yes,
the
I
one.
do still do that.
You still do that?
great.
Fantastic. Yeah. Many, many talents Hayley has.
I did train as a chef a long time ago, so feel like I ought to put that to some sort of use.
That's
don't
impressive.
use it, lose it.
Yeah.
I know. Don't do anything.
Are you one of those
massively well.
sweary chefs in the kitchen? Are you a sweary chef?
Only with people I know. I can't really do that with with people who've paid me who I don't know.
2-year-olds around, you go, hey, young man, big boy, look at me, fuck off.
Are you an idiot sandwich? Yes, you are.
The pasta was fucking raw. Yes? Okay. Man.
Very good. Man.
Have you ever done that to your wife?
Yeah. Hey, the steak was pinker than my grandma's fucking lipstick.
I love it. I've been thinking about Gordon Ramsay recently as well, because I don't know if you ever saw the Christmas special he did with his family, and it's just got the funniest moment I've ever seen on anything, completely unexpected. He goes out with his kids, they find a rope swing on a tree. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's worth looking up. He's basically pushing his boy on this rope swing that he found on the tree, and it snaps.
Oh, God.
and his kid goes flying, absolutely flying.
God.
It's wonderful. Look it up on YouTube.
Wow.
It's going to be on
I haven't
there.
seen that.
I will.
My word.
Wow, definitely have to look that one up.
And it's great because it's like in the montage bit. So there's all this like Christmas music as well.
Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah. And yeah, the kid just goes flying. It's wonderful. Well, I love the fact that you are embracing a kitten into your life, and you have this tiny
I
life
buckled,
that is
Alex,
over there.
if truth be told.
Yeah.
I buckled. It's not about me, it's about the girls. But having said, listen, that it's so cute. There's no getting over it. It's just
You can't.
adorable.
You've got to keep this front up, though, Darren. That you're
Get that fucking thing off me! No,
in a minute.
Yeah.
It's all right at the moment, but yeah.
Cool.
Well, it sounds like a productive week, Darren, and it sounds like
Well, like
I'm
I said,
glad that
it's been a good week, and others, I mean, hold my hands up, aren't as exciting as sometimes there's not a lot happens, not a lot comes in, but then you have to sort of market and create. I'm very big on social media, so I'll create content and put that up on Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn, and I don't like standing still. So when work's quiet, I try my best to sort of keep moving, and
so you can do it.
yeah. Otherwise, being self-employed and working from home, you can get a bit like down.
Yeah.
There's no denying it.
Easily.
So yeah,
Easily.
so I like running. I like keeping fit, and for my mental health more than anything. That's a buzzword I never thought I'd say, but I mean, it is true. You've got to look after yourself, otherwise, you can start going backwards, and that's not good. So yeah, just keep moving forward, keep trying new things, keep pushing yourself. And this new thing, like I said, with Radio Jackie, is just it is a thrill for me, and I prep, like like this day in history, find out the birthdays, find out the showbiz gossip. It's funny, actually, I've got to tell you just very, very quickly. When I typed in like showbiz news, showbiz gossip, quite quickly I found like a Daily Mail showbiz gossip or some, and it was like Avril Lavigne as sports brand new orange hair streaks. So and so rocks up at the so and so after party wearing so and so Prada boots, and someone else says that life has changed since she had her nose job. So I thought, well, there's mileage in this. So I really milked it and said, coming up after the 11, we've got the big showbiz stories, the big, and it starts off with a couple from Love Island who no one's ever heard of, possibly getting back together, and it's great. Yeah. It's like, make it a feature, sod it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, that's it. I mean, it is absolute bollocks. You might as well do like a spotted section as well.
Yeah.
And they always see that in Heat, don't you? It's like, Les Dennis was spotted eating a pret-a-manger.
That's great.
I'm pretty sure that was a genuine one. I'm pretty sure that stuck in my head. I was like, well, who cares?
Do you know what? I'm going to write that down. Celebrity spots. That's a great, celebrity spots.
If you've spotted a celebrity somewhere in...
Cool.
I mean, what celebrities around that way around Surbiton area. I don't.
My friend in Chelsea sees Joe Cole practically every day. Goes to the same cafe as him. I get quite excited when I'm in the West End and I walk past someone, you know.
Oh, I do. I do. I've had some great moments where my favourite one was Rick Mail, where it was in Wimbledon, actually, in Centre Court, and he was walking towards me, and I looked at him, and we both made eye contact and nodded at each other, and it was kind of like I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from? And as soon as he walked past, he was like, I turned to Emily and went, that was Rick Mail. So really? Yeah, it was Rick Mail. He just saw, and he was just wandering off.
Wow.
And yeah, I love those moments. Every time in Wimbledon as well, I kept bumping into Steve Brookstein.
From X Factor.
Yeah,
Right.
to the point where I thought he was following me.
Maybe he was.
Maybe he was.
Yeah.
Maybe he was. And Hayley, you live in the middle of nowhere that sees no celebrities, don't you?
Yeah, my only good one was when I go into London, obviously. You don't see anyone around here, I'm afraid. Yeah, it was a while ago. I went to a James Morrison gig at Kenwood House, and I went to go and get some more drinks, and I was just sort of standing there, and this guy like coming up to me going, hiya, so you were here last year, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, about to go, no, I wasn't here last year. I think, why on earth are you trying to pap me? Standing literally next to Helena Bonham Carter and, you know,
My goodness.
her then husband, shall we say.
Wow.
Wow.
I was like, wow, oh my god,
Yeah.
oh my god. I mean, they're like proper famous, right? So that was cool. They told him to go away though, which was funny.
Oh, did they?
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
Really?
They were a bit like, yeah, whatever. I just carried on walking. Yeah, I think
Goodness
that
me.
they don't really do the whole press thing so much.
So yeah, that was your week, Darren. If you were to rate your week out of a scale of whatever, what would you rate it?
I think looking at what I think that's a strong 9 out of 10 for me. I think
Looks that way.
fitted a lot in. Did some stand up, radio,
Nice.
did some good, nice voiceover bits and pieces. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It was good.
Got a kitten.
Got a kitten.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good week. And
Yeah.
yeah, and this is what I just love about what we do. Like you could be sitting around like feeling sorry for yourself because you've got no work and the phone hasn't rung, and then you'll get an email or someone will call you up and it'll change. So
Change, yes.
you know, but it's just trying to
That's
keep yourself positive on the more lean time, shall we say? You know, and
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? It is, and I mean, as you know, with COVID and all the rest of it, you're more. Well, I suppose that really affected your like work as such because you're still kind of working in the same environment, aren't you? So I don't think that's really
commercials like ads weren't as busy. But I've got to admit, like touch wood, it things sort of ticked along quite nicely here. It was all right. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
lovely stuff. Is there anything you would like to promote or get off your chest or confess to?
Oh, that's very kind of you.
That's all
So, yeah, I'm quite active on social media. I'm always putting out celebrity impressions and voiceover stuff. On Twitter, I'm at Darren Altman. On TikTok, I'm at Darren Altman. And on Instagram, I'm at Darren Altman _VO. Darren Altman _VO. I had a nightmare a few weeks ago. My Instagram got hacked, and long story short, I had to delete the account, wipe my phone, and start completely from scratch. And I lost 30,000 followers.
Oh, shit.
Absolutely gutted. It took me years to sort of work up to that amount, producing lots of content. And yeah, I lost 30,000 followers. I had to scrap the account, and I'm getting started again. So it's at Darren Altman _VO. Yeah, and that's me.
Well, I really hope you get those followers back, Darren. Well, that's the show. So, my thanks to Darren Altman. My thanks to Hayley Pettitt. I've been Alex Sievewright, and that was the week that was it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hayley's dad went to Sean Connery's house? What? 'Tis true, my friends, 'tis true. My uncle owned a car dealership in London, and one of his more notable customers was Sean Connery. Sean Connery bought a VW Caravanette, and instead of the usual delivery methods, my uncle spoke to my dad, and they decided between them that it would be a fantastic idea to add a personalised service, hand deliver the vehicle to Sean Connery's house. Sean Connery lived in Fuengirola at the time, Marbella. It took my dad and my uncle 2 weeks to get there because, as I quote my dad, we made the most of it. When they eventually arrived at Sean Connery's house, my uncle donned his shirt, tie, make a good impression for the company, you know. They knock on the door, really excited. Sean Connery, big fans. His wife Micheline opens the door, apologises ever such a lot, and says that Sean Connery is out playing golf and forgotten that you were coming. So, they were a bit deflated, but was made up for the fact that Micheline invited them in. They had a couple of drinks. She said, if you want to use the pool, you can. They politely declined, and then they had to walk home.